These are 13 lessons that I learned about cold approach. 4 years ago, I did my first cold approach and was hit with the harsh reality that I was terrified to talk to women. Since then, I've talked to thousands of girls, made every mistake that you can imagine, and found a way to make it one of the most fun things in my life. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the 13 most valuable lessons that I learned about cold approach, starting with the mindset that you need to succeed, and then going into the advanced lessons that I learned about women. I'm going to be breaking down everything that I wish I could have told my younger self so you can skip the mistakes that I made and succeed faster. Starting with the first lesson, which is that your mind is either your greatest ally or your worst enemy. And this is the most true thing when it comes to cold approach, because when I was younger, I remember having so many limiting thoughts, negative beliefs, my mind telling me I wasn't good enough, I was too short, too skinny, she was too pretty for me, I was going to get rejected anyway, the list goes on. And it was this constant source of negativity that held me back from most of the time even going and talking to her. And if I did go and talk to her, I would have so much anxiety. I put so much pressure to succeed. I was so nervous that I end up fucking it up anyway. Whereas now I have none of those issues. And I want you to imagine this in another lens. Let's imagine that you have two friends. One of your friends is constantly telling you negative things. He's saying, nah, man, you can't get that girl. It's not going to work out. She's too pretty for you. You're too ugly. You're too short. You got big nose. Whatever it is, if you have a friend telling you all those things, whereas if you have a hype friend, a positive friend who says, bro, you are money. You can get that girl over there. Bro, I saw a twinkle in her eye when she looked at you. You can get her. Bro, you're fucking the best man here. Of course she's going to want to talk to you. If hype man was talking to you and you had that sort of energy, which interaction do you think is going to make you more primed for success? The one where you have a constant source of negative, your friends bringing you down, or a constant source of positivity where your friends bringing you up? Which one do you think you have the better chance of succeeding with when you go and talk to a girl? It's going to be the positive hype man. It's clear as day and it's so obvious. And what you have to really understand from this analogy is that this is what your own mind might be doing to you. Would you keep that friend around for long, the negative friend who just brings you down and tells you you can't do anything? I don't think so. I wouldn't. I would get rid of them instantly. And that's what you have to do with your own mind and your negative thoughts and limiting beliefs, because if you're like my younger self, that's going to be the biggest thing holding you back from having all the success that you could want. And boys, when you go and talk to girls, I created you a conversation mastery guide, breaking down the ways that I start and have great conversations every single time. That's completely for free. It's the first thing in the description below. And the second lesson is that once you overcome your fears, you see opportunity absolutely everywhere. So when I overcame my fear of rejection, when I overcame my fear of not knowing what to say and developing social skills, and got rid of all my limiting beliefs and negative thoughts and unified my mind, all I see is opportunity absolutely everywhere. I can be anywhere. Obviously, the bars and clubs is easy. I chat to every single girl there. But I can be in the park and see a girl lying down reading a book and be like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to her. Or I can be in the gym seeing a girl working out and be like, oh man, she's gorgeous. She got them fire glutes. Let me go chat to her and ask her for some gym advice. I don't know fucking anything. It doesn't matter. If you fail, that's not a bad thing. There's nothing in this world worth getting which you're just going to succeed every single time. And if you do succeed your first time and you never have to fail, you didn't really learn too much. Failing is not a bad thing. It's a good thing to fail forward, to fail and learn a lesson and go forward with a better set of knowledge and skill sets. And that's what I've constantly been doing over thousands of experiences. And this is why I'm so calm, comfortable, and confident with girls when I talk to them. So you have to remove your fears. And once you do, you're just gonna see opportunity absolutely everywhere. And the third lesson is rejection is better than regret. And this is something my younger self knows way too much of, because I was always regretting not going and talking to girls throughout all my years in school. I never talked to any girls and I had so many opportunities to. One time I remember I saw this girl in the library and it was early in the class period and I was like, I want to go and talk to her. My friend was like, okay, go talk to her. And I was just like, no, I can't. And we talked about how I was telling him why I couldn't go and talk to her and he was telling me why I should. I ended up wasting the whole class period. And then the bell rang and she left and I missed my opportunity. And you can only imagine the regret I felt after. And this was not a one-off thing. This happened so many times. Now looking back, I love school, man. It's a place where half of the people there are girls. Bro, all I would do if I was in high school now is talk to girls all day long. You have unlimited opportunity. Like, I wish that was the case. It's so fucking easy. You can just go and talk to girls everywhere, and it's not that fucking difficult. Man, I wish I had the mindset I have now in high school. It would have been fucking a completely different situation for me. But now, at least when I go and talk to girls, if I get rejected, I know where I stand. At least I didn't reject myself. Rejecting yourself is the worst thing that you can do. At least you understand, okay, I put myself out there, I tried. There's things that you're going to learn from this interaction anyway, and you're going to get better from it. But at least you know that, this didn't work out. Instead of just being always wondering and regretting not going and doing it, at least you're showing courage. You're putting yourself out there. You're going after the things that you want. And on a long enough time frame, you're going to get the things. It might be 1, 2, 3, 4 times, or it might be 20. But it doesn't matter. On a long enough time frame, you will succeed. And that's what you got to keep in your mind. And that's why rejection is always better than regret. And the fourth lesson is that detachment is power. When you can go up to girls and you can come from a very detached place, when you don't care how the interaction goes, when you don't need to succeed, that's when you're going to be the most charismatic, smooth version of yourself. Like I was telling you, when I was younger, the times that I did talk to girls, I had so much anxiety going in it, with so much pressure to succeed, not knowing what to say, so I was stressing about what I was going to say. Whereas now, I have a general thing that I go and start conversations with, which is just based off of different social skills and charisma books that I know work because I've tried it millions of times. But I don't really stress too much about how the conversation is going to go. And if it doesn't go well within 15, 30 seconds, I'm completely okay with just leaving and saying it was nice to meet you. If she's not interested, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't really care. But if it goes well, I have everything to gain. Always going back to that opportunity everywhere, right? You have absolutely everything to gain and nothing to lose. So why not just go and try? And the detachment of not really caring how any one interaction goes is what's gonna be the key to make you way more charismatic, way more calm, and way more confident. And now the next 3 lessons are going to be about what you bring to the table when you go and talk to girls, not just about mindset itself. So the 5th lesson is your energy is extremely important. Energy is contagious. I have a great example. When I was in Norway, there was one night I remember when I went to this rave. And I was actually a little nervous going before because I hadn't been to a rave and I was in a country I'd never been in. And I was just a little nervous. I didn't know what to expect. And when I went there was this area where it was perfect for talking to people. And I talked to about 50 people that night. I was given so many compliments to guys. I chatted up to so many girls. I had great conversations. I added a bunch of girls on Snap. It was one of the most fun nights of my life. And I really experienced what it was like to be the most charming, charismatic version of myself at a level that I just hadn't really pushed myself to ever before. But one of the reasons why I was succeeding so much was because of my energy. I was bringing this positive, optimistic energy, bringing just this, radiant smile, strong eye contact, great body language. And everyone just wanted a piece of that. Everyone wanted to have that sort of energy. So when I went up and talked to them, of course they wanted to talk to me and they were having a good time and it was fun and everything went good because of my energy. And there's also been nights where I've had an off night. This happens all the time. And my energy is not there and I'm not smiling as much. I'm not putting myself out there and I don't talk to as many people and I'm, there in like a little bit less of a smiley face. And I promise you those nights never result in any success. So your energy is one of the most important things that you can have when you go and talk to girls. And the next lesson is that warmth and nonverbal charisma cues are more important than anything that you can say. What you actually say accounts for a very small percentage of your communication. Most of it is nonverbal and your body language, and another percent is tonality. A very small percent is the actual words that you use. So what you gotta understand is that when it comes to making girls like you very quickly, warmth, charisma cues are gonna be key. Things like a big genuine smile where you have the crow's feet in the corner of the eyes, strong eye contact, having more of like a softer look in your eyes. This is something that you can actually control. And then having warm body language, not crossing your arms, anything like that, or self-soothing. That's only gonna take away from your charisma. Being very calm and confident, having a big smile, holding eye contact. Those are a lot of the things on which the foundation is built for a good conversation, and you don't have to say anything too crazy for it to go well if you're a well put together guy and you follow those warmth and nonverbal cues. That's really setting you the foundation for success. And the seventh lesson is that confidence is key. This is absolutely essential, because if you are not confident, if you're insecure, nervous, anxious, it's gonna get leaked in your communication. Whether it's what you say, whether it's your nonverbal communication, like your eye contact, you're looking away, looking at the ground, you can't hold eye contact, you're fidgeting, something's gonna give away your insecurity. Whereas when you're calm and confident, it's gonna be a completely different interaction. And when you go up to girls and you talk to them, and the way you interact when you're confident, it's day and night. Girls could see my insecurity when I was younger, whereas now when I go and talk to girls, they're always complimenting me on how confident I am. So confidence is something that you need to develop, and it's gonna be one of the key factors that allow girls to quickly like you and take to you, is your confidence levels. Confidence is very captivating. It makes people wanna be around you. When you're a very confident guy, people wanna be around you. When it's communicated in the right way, it will make you absolutely charismatic. And now we're moving on to the lessons that I learned about girls related to cold approach, starting with lesson number 8, which is that girls are more than happy to have a conversation with you, especially if you're a polite, respectful, fun guy, and you come in with your warmth, charisma cues, and the right energy. They are going to be down to have a conversation with you. There were so many times when I had limiting beliefs as to not being able to talk to girls in various situations, like not at the bar and club. I mean, that one was pretty easy to overcome. But like, I remember even after having tons of success in the bars and clubs, sleeping with girls, I was nervous to go and talk to girls at the beach. I was like, nah, I can't interrupt them. They're lying down. Like, nah, it's not gonna work. And there were so many times when I just went and did it anyway. And then I ended up sitting down at their towel, talking to them, having like a 15-minute conversation. Sometimes I would join them and play like frisbee, volleyball, football. You know, all these things happen, which I didn't even think was possible when I was younger. And this is in so many different situations across the board. That's probably the best and easiest one to go with. But you really got to understand that girls are 100% down to have conversations in real life, especially if you come in with the right energy. And lesson number 9 is really important, which is that the escalation point in conversation will reveal a girl's true feelings towards you. So an escalation point is basically just when you ask for that next step, whether it is to get her number, her snap, if you're in the nightclub setting, to go home with you, whatever it is. But this is really when you have to be super keen to not just what she says, but also her body language, her tonality, because it's gonna give you all the little tells and show you her level of interest in you. So if everything is going good, let's say the best possible scenario, and you see only positive signs, that's great, that's a really good sign. But maybe she complies, but you also see some like negative body language signs or some like hesitation or tonality things. That's also something to pick up on. Or if she just doesn't give it to you and it doesn't go well, this is also a really good data point and thing that you can reference in the future. Because if you didn't ask for that snap, maybe she was a nice girl, but she just wasn't interested. And you wouldn't have known she wasn't interested until she rejected you. And you would have walked around thinking you're the fucking man who could have slept with her, when in reality, your ass would have gotten rejected if you tried. So I think having an escalation point is really important, and trying to take things further than just a basic conversation. I've coached a lot of guys who just did the conversation part, but they wouldn't do the escalation part because they were worried about the rejection. But that's actually where you learn a lot. You learn a lot from seeing the little things that happen between, the vocal and nonverbal communication that gets revealed, whether you succeeded or you failed. They're all really important things that you can take away, which will help you in the future. And lesson number 10 is really cool, which is that her eyes will speak louder than her words will. I'll give you a great example. So I can see when a girl is down to fuck. Whether you believe me or not, I don't care. The playboys out there, they'll know. So this summer, I went to this pre-party, and I was with some guys, and we joined a group of girls at their place in their pre-party. And these were girls I never met before. So as soon as we got there, I sat down and I'm looking at this one girl, and we're holding like such great eye contact, and we're, having a little bit of small talk, and everyone's playing some drinking games. And I just knew that she was down to fuck. Like, it was so obvious. And I got her snap before I left, and a couple hours later, we're at the club, and she's texting me, and she's like, come back to my place. You're so handsome. Please come back. I swear to God, these were exactly what she was saying. Me and my boy were online trying to get into the club. When she was texting me this, I'm like, God damn, bro, I told you. I literally told him, I said, bro, she is down to fuck. I could see it in her eyes. And he was like, He's like, yeah, I think so too. He's one of those supportive friends, like from that analogy earlier. He's one of those friends that's gonna hype you up no matter what. Even if she wasn't down to fuck, he would be there like, yeah, bro, you know what? You got it. He's a fucking great friend. But he was like, oh shit, you were fucking right. And I was like, it's crazy because you can actually start to read a girl's eyes and how she's feeling just by looking into her eyes. It's crazy. They say the eyes are the window to the soul. And this is really, really true, especially as you develop very high levels of visceral empathy. That basically means like feeling empathy, where you can have a really good feel for how someone else is feeling. And you're looking into her eyes and it can speak louder than words. And this will allow you to become very smooth and very charismatic and say the right thing at the right time when you know how others are feeling and you can kind of see into their eyes. And lesson number 11 is really important to internalize, which is that rejection is never personal, it's situational. What you got to understand is you got to view this from the girl's perspective. And this is why this is in the category about girls, because this is something I've really learned about girls, which is that a lot of the time, girls who find you attractive will reject you because there's so many things going on in a girl's personal reality which will make her not want to have a conversation. She might have just gotten into a fight with her friends. She might have a situationship, argued with her parents, had a bad day. Girls are so fucking emotional to the littlest things. The littlest thing could have happened and now she doesn't want to talk to anybody. You know, like all these things have happened and I've seen it play out so many times that you cannot let a rejection be personal. And I'll give you an example of how I've gotten rejected, but it wasn't personal at all. And the girl actually found me attractive. So this is probably about a month ago now. I went out with my friends and at this bar, a beautiful 10 out of 10 Swedish girl walks in. And we start chatting. I go up to her right away and we start talking a little bit and we have good conversation. I can see it in her eyes. We're both smiling. We definitely like each other. And when I ask her for her snap, she says, you know, she's got a situationship. They're almost like dating at this point. They're almost her boyfriend, but so she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to, you know, ruin what she's got going. But she does like me. And, you know, in a normal situation, if a girl rejects me, I know it's okay. But she liked me. So I was trying to see what I could, you know, squeeze in here. So I was like, what about Instagram? Let's just get each other on Instagram, a little less personal. We'll just keep in touch. You know, you can always go for an upgrade down in the future if, you know, this doesn't work out or whatever. Just trying to make some jokes. And then she was like, yeah, we'll get each other on Instagram. And then she opens my profile. She like looks at my profile before she adds herself and she sees my ab pictures on there and she's zooming in on them and she looks at me and she's like, you know you're beautiful, right? And I was like, thank you, you as well, right? And we're talking a little more, but she found me attractive, but this never went anywhere. She never even followed me back. I was like, God damn it. She like, you know, she requested it, but she never accepted it and whatever. You know, she has a situationship or a boyfriend now, and that's why I got rejected in that situation, but you can't take these things personal. You can't let that interaction go bad because like you didn't know that the girl didn't find you attractive or you didn't know what was going on in her personal reality. These are the things that happen which you cannot make a big deal out of. So in that situation, you saw that the girl found me attractive and it still didn't work out. But there's all these situations which you have no idea what's going on, so there's no point in making it a personal thing. And lesson number 12 is that when the conversation feels effortless, there's a mutual connection. So I have a great example from when I was in Florida. I was there with my friend from New York who I grew up with. He came down and visited me, and we went to this college campus for a field day event. And there they had all these different activities. And when we were looking around trying to pick one of the activities to start with, there was this painting one. And by this painting one, there was this beautiful girl who had blonde hair, a sexy bikini with a nice ass. And I said out loud to my friend, I said, I'm gonna get that girl. And he goes, bet, do it. So we went up and talked to her, and right off the bat, there was just this instant connection. It was almost like we'd been friends for years or whatever, and we just reconnected, and it was just this mutual vibe. And we did the little painting thing, and she drew a heart on me, and she drew some stuff, and we drew the painting. And then she just started taking me around the entire campus, showing me stuff, taking me to all the different events. We did all the different things that they had, and I ended up sleeping with her that night, and it was almost one of the most effortless interactions that I've had where it was just an instant connection. And as not every single time it's going to be that easy, that's the ideal situation. That's when the connection is just absolutely solid, and you will get some of those. It's almost like out of a movie or some shit, like out of the fucking magical fairy tales. I don't know, it's hard to describe, but there's very few interactions that are that perfect. But when you get those sorts of interactions, that's when you know there's a mutual connection 100%. So when things feel effortless or at least easy, because not every time it's going to be that easy, but when things are at least easy and it's not like you're pulling teeth, this is when you have a really good connection with a girl, when it's just not difficult to maintain conversation. She puts in just as much as you put in. It's just a vibe overall. Those are the best interactions. And the last lesson is the truest thing that I've learned about girls, which is that girls decide if they like you within seconds. So when I go up to girls now, because I know this lesson, I will not talk to them for more than 15 to 30 seconds if I see that they don't like me, because I'm a master at reading nonverbal communication between body language, tonality, and of course what they say as well. But if I can detect that they are not interested in me, I will not keep this conversation going. I will not sabotage my self-respect and keep talking to a girl who is not interested in me. So I leave and say it was nice to meet you. And this is the best possible thing you can do, because you are never going to convince a girl to like you who does not like you. It's not like within the next 20 seconds, 30 seconds, she's gonna change her mind because you drop some real funny line. Like maybe there's a 1 in a million chance of that, but it's not worth it. I'm not in that game. I'm not in the game of trying to make every girl like me. I'm in the game of going out there and introducing myself to girls. And if there's that vibe, like from the story before, I take it and run with it. And obviously it doesn't have to be that perfect. But if there's any sort of vibe, I can go as far as I want to take it. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for girls who like me in return and then carrying the conversation with them. That is it. I do not try and make girls like me, because they decide very quickly, and to try and change their mind is impossible, and it's not worth your time. So that's the last lesson. I hope you guys learned a lot from all my experiences. And once again, I created my conversation mastery guide, which is going to really help you to start and have great conversations, breaking down all the different ways that you can start conversations with girls in various different settings. And this is completely for free. It's the first thing in the description below.